Hello, it's time for another episode of Discipleship Today. My name is Bob Benson. I pastor Christ Lutheran Church. We've been talking about discipleship and what it is and what it isn't. And today, we're talking about Christian discipleship. And it grows from a great historical soil. It's distinctively shaped by Jesus. Jesus is our example when we talk about discipleship. It's so clear in the Gospels that many of the disciples experienced a dynamic call from Jesus to drop their nets and come follow him. So, do we do that? Do we have the opportunity to tell somebody, okay, drop what you're doing now as your vocation and make your vocation following me? No, we don't have that opportunity. We have the right heart, but the wrong methods. And we tend to consolidate discipleship to an hour a week, and it's just not enough. And it was interesting. Jesus, you'd think that the midterm test for him would be a question like, what have you been learning about the kingdom? And that was not the question halfway through his discipleship of these guys. The question was, who do you say that I am? It was a question really tapping into their hearts. Where were they in their relationship with Jesus Christ? Did they see him as the Savior of the world, the Messiah? And I would tell you that they probably didn't. It reflects the primary course material that Jesus' brand of discipleship was built on. Have we come to grip on what it means that God has come to us and asked us to make disciples? It's also really surprising to me that you hear discipleship all throughout the Gospels. But then you get into the epistles of Paul, and Paul never uses the word disciple. He never uses a verb or a noun. But do you think Paul wasn't building disciples? He absolutely was. See, we have some key words that we key in on as Christians today, and one of them is discipleship. We key in on that word, but I don't think we have a concept of what biblical discipleship was and how we should be doing discipleship. Matter of fact, the Bible teaches in Matthew to make disciples of all nations, baptizing them and teaching them to obey all that Jesus commanded in the context of that Matthew passage in Matthew 28:17 through 20. Today, discipleship is one of the most common terms used in our Christian vocabulary, but we don't do it the way Jesus did. But we still expect the results that Jesus got. If we really expect the results that Jesus got, maybe we should change the way we're doing discipleship. Maybe we should be living life with people. Not in the context of an hour in a classroom. But are there people in your life that have access to you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week? That's discipleship. And that's what we need to do. We need to have at least an inner core. Jesus said Peter, James, and John that spent all their time with him. When Jesus goes deep into the garden, who does he take with him? Peter, James, and John. Do we have that 3? Do we have 12 that have access to us pretty much all the time? And then do we have an extended set of people? Do we have 72? Do we have 70? Do we have people that we're pouring into on a regular basis? If we're going to follow the pattern that Jesus used, we ought to follow the pattern that Jesus used. We ought to try and live life with people, not relegate it to an hour a week. But really pour into people. See, we have the right motivation, but the wrong methods. I think sometimes when we find out something doesn't work, we're so afraid to change our method. We need to change our method. We need to pour into people. So for Discipleship Today, my name is Bob Benson. Thank you for taking the time to watch.